Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Creatures Such As We with Trillian. I'm Trillian and we're on episode 8 and we're about to go out for a moonwalk. So let's go moonwalking. Even though you just did it yesterday, you inspect everyone's suits again. Yeah, because this suit thing is really bothering me. I just know something's going to go wrong. You text a notification to the group that the moonwalk is ready and they all show up promptly. This really is an amazing group. They're even wearing the right outfits, full coverage clothing and long socks. You put out the ping on your walkie-talkie that suiting assistance will soon be needed. This will be the smoothest moonwalk yet. You stand up to address the group. What do you emphasize in the safety briefing? How the suits work. I'm nervous about these suits. You clear your throat and address the crowd. Listen, this is definitely one of the most fun parts of your stay here, but it's also the most dangerous. Your suits protect you against the freezing environment, cosmic radiation, and of course, the lack of atmosphere. We're on the dark side of the moon, so while you do have a powerful helmet light, please stay within the bounds of the field lights. The packs have hours of oxygen on them, and I will be monitoring your reserves on my own readout. There will be several Space Joy employees out walking with us. If anything goes poorly, or even if you just like to stop early, one of us will be happy to escort you back. The outside entrance has a large panel button to open it, no keys or codes required. They all nod and look around for what to do next. You gesture around to the arriving stewards. Like putting on medieval armor, myself and the other stewards will help you get into your suit to make sure it's all fixed up. Then we'll get suited ourselves, and after a quick systems and pressure check, we'll be on our way. James waves at you from across the room. Ooh, he wants you to help him. Huh. Well, my initial reaction is like, oh, you've raised your hand, I must go help you now. But I feel like I want to check on Grant. How's Grant doing? We haven't really checked in with him since he's come back from the, thing, and I want to know how he's feeling. Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe someone else would give me a list, so I'm going to pick Grant. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't read this one. You look down at your walkie-talkie like you're reading off your assignment from a list, and you choose Grant. He grins excitedly. Glad to know that I'll be getting assistance from the best. I wonder what James thinks since I kind of blew him off. He looks at your eyes, glances at your lips, then back to your eyes before breaking the tension. So, what do we do next? Your face flushes at the closeness. Oh my. Hello. You try to maintain composure as you meet his gaze. I'll need to take your measurements. He steps closer and holds out his arms. So then, measure away. Well, he seems to be feeling better. You pull out some old-fashioned measuring tape and hold it against him. Height, arms, shoulders. You brush up against his arm. The unexpected contact sends shivers down your spine. Oh man, this is bad news. He is so off limits. Well, not technically, but practically. You cough and straighten up, doing your best to conceal the warm blush spreading over your face. But Grant looks just as affected as you are, grinning madly and avoiding eye contact. Fantastic. Oh, but also terrible. You smile back despite yourself. I have to go get the suit now. You practically sprint off. Just how bad is this? Not technically off limit, so I don't think I'm going to get in trouble with my job. It might never work out because I still have 3 years on my contract up here at the moon, so there's that. There's multiple reasons not to get involved. It's just not what you want. Oh, I don't think that's true. I think my Trillian on the moon here is getting kind of into Grant. That's pretty cool. And she seems a little starved for attention, honestly. It's not the best idea, but why not enjoy it? Oh, actually, this feels amazing. Let's just go. You embrace the warm flush. You run your fingers over crate labels until you find the one that's the best fit. It's slightly too big around the waist, but people usually suck it in for the measurements anyway. You haul out the crate of suit parts. You take your time helping him into each piece of the suit. They're designed to be sturdy, flexible, and simple for the wearer, but that means they require a lot of work from the assisting ballet. Layers, seals, buckles, electronic tests. You squint your face in concentration. Finally, you finish and step back. How do I look? He asks. Well, you're wearing a giant moon suit, so I can hardly see you, but I'm going to say, ready for anything. How about that? Grant strikes a heroic pose, but then loses it in a fit of giggles. You clap and bow, but seeing as how almost everyone else is nearly ready, it's high time you got suited up as well. Your box has already been pulled out by another steward. You do your best to avoid eye contact. Your position feels privileged enough without being in a position where they have to act as your servant. You start with the pants, what looks and feels like plastic-infused canvas cloth. Then you lean on him as he helps you step into the ski boot-like armored shoes. He bolts on your greaves and knee guards as you step into the plastic canvas jacket. Then your least favorite part, the plating around your chest that goes down just past your natural waist. There goes most of your flexibility. Then the butt guard and adjustments to the back harness. You wiggle your fingers into the inner gloves, then the outer gloves that he holds open for you. He smooths your hair back to slip on the canvas hood, then straps on the gauntlets and elbow guards, turning on the left gauntlet's electronic control panel. You feel a sudden down and backwards pull as two stewards load your pack onto the back harness, the battery, oxygen, and communications antenna. They hover behind you with digipads hooked up to several electronic ports all over your suit. All pre-helmet systems check out. You thank your coworker profusely as your adrenaline starts pumping. You're about to go out into space. This never ceases to feel amazing. You look over the tourist and fellow employee chaperones. All right. Hey, let's go exploring. Haha. They all follow your lead to the airlock. You instruct everyone to lock on their helmets. HUD and comm check, everyone reply. You get excited confirmation pings from everyone. The interior airlock door seals behind you. The air evacuation starts. This is the point where if someone's going to panic, they do. Cramped interior, the point of no return. How do you reassure everyone? I can't wait to show you all the moon. Let's get them excited instead of panicky. You get some nervous agreements from the group, just a few yeah and yep affirmations. But being pulled up to the top of the roller coaster is not the time when people are feeling all that talkative. There's a small spike in oxygen use from the general group, but nothing out of the ordinary. Everyone using the airlock at once enforces a sort of herd mentality where emotional states are mostly shared. It highly discourages panic, at least for the single minute it takes to drain the chamber. And then the outer airlock opens. You bounce out backwards and gesture for everyone to follow. There's some hesitation, that slow tourist pace, and then they finally follow. They gawk at it all. The moon dust landscape, the universe above, the moon base exterior, each other in spacesuits. They're in the palm of your hand. The other stewards fan out, prepared to take pictures, roll video, and potentially deal with any emergencies. While the suits have 3 hours of oxygen and warmth, you always give a 30-minute buffer. Considering that some people have already burned 15 minutes before getting out here, that's 2 hours and 15 minutes left of exploration. Which activity do you start them on first? Oh, the universe. That's got to be the biggest thing, to walk out and just feel that sky. It's not even sky, but you know what I mean. Like, feel all that space around you. It must be amazing. You call all the tourists to you. Listen, everyone to me. I'm going to shut off the exterior lights. We're going to take the opportunity to look up at the universe. Everyone tilts their heads up expectantly. The lights dim before turning off so as not to be frighteningly sudden, and then it's there. Nothing but the uninterrupted universe. No sun, no lights, no atmosphere, no reflection from Earth. Just the unending, beautiful eternity. There are audible sighs and gasps. You're certain you hear someone sniffling back a few tears, but you give them the benefit of not checking whose audio trace it was. You could talk to them about specific features, but you let them just silently enjoy the view. Everyone seems completely engrossed in looking up at space. You've got 2 hours before you should think about returning everyone to base. What do you do next? Okay, so let's see. Well, I'm still thinking like I want to make them to make a game out of this. So let's describe the moon dust, because that had come up before and we want to talk about that. You turn the field lights back on. You launch into tourist mode. So the moon dust, or lunar regolith, was created over 4.4 billion years of asteroids beating and battering the surface. The dust was further shaped by a process known as space weathering, with its exposure to cosmic rays. The stuff is actually considered a nuisance by most spacefaring endeavors. It's rough, more reactive than Earth soil, and it sticks to everything. But that's why we wash off our suits before returning back to the base, so feel free to enjoy it however you want. Ren bends down and picks up some dust, enjoying watching it sift through her fingers. James attempts to throw a clump of dust like a snowball at Sadri, who ducks out of the way. Diana starts drawing out a pattern in the dust by dragging her feet, while Andres and Grant just fascinate over the footprints they leave behind. The spacesuit shoes are specifically designed to imitate the iconic moon boot pattern, and you feel a twinge of guilt remembering the time that Space Joy actually attempted to copyright that boot pattern. They really seem to be getting into the spirit of moon fun. You've got 1 hour and 45 minutes before you should think about returning everyone to base. What do you do next? Let's play with lunar props. I don't really know what that means, but again, we want them to come up with ideas for things they could put in the game, right? So let's do that. You summon over 3 remote-controlled replicas of an ancient moon rover. These can be controlled with the button panels on your suit's gauntlet. Try them out. James and Diana claim one, working together to pretend like they're taking soil samples and scientific measurements. They actually coordinate quite well together. Andres and Grant get overly competitive, steering the other 2 rigs in a race. Sadri allies herself with Grant, turning the race into a robot battle by using the digging arm to poke at Andres' robot. Ren voices her concerns about damaging the equipment, but you reassure her that it's perfectly fine. They're designed to be durable. She pauses, then evens the score by controlling Andres' robot to attack Grant's rig. They all seem to be having a great time. So it's funny that Grant's getting overly... Andres and Grant. Andres, who seems to be the sort of notch of this group, the leader of this group, and then Grant, who represents synthplay, are getting a little bit competitive. But everybody's having a good time. This is excellent team building, you guys. It should help with the negotiations. We still have 1 hour and 30 minutes. Let's do some lunar exploration. I don't know if we're going to go out as a group or... You encourage the tourists to fan out and explore the local landscape. They slowly jump around to different spots within the exploration bounds, where Space Joy recreates a natural-looking environment of small hills, craters, and rocks. Sadri climbs down into a small crater, enjoying the chance to look closer at eye-level moon dust. Ren jumps down and joins her, delighting at the deliberately placed asteroid in the center. Diana kicks some dust into the crater. James starts walking the paces of the boundaries, trying to determine the area of the playscape, while Grant jumps higher and higher, trying to determine the limits of spacesuit height on the moon. He might not want to jump up and down so much if he's been so sick. Andres gently tosses a small rock, amazing over how long it takes before touching the ground. Everyone seems to be having an amazing time. You've got 1 hour and 15 minutes before you should think about returning everyone to base. What do you do next? Well, they all seem to be having a fun time. Maybe it's the mom in me, but, you take the kids to the playground, you want them to have some fun. Let them have a little more fun. You point to the ground. So one of the greatest challenges out here on the dark side of the moon is the temperature. It's an average of negative 170 degrees Celsius. That's around negative 275 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes for a very chilly environment indeed. A large portion of our facility and these suits occupy themselves with insulation and heating. Now, the sunny side gets up to near boiling temperatures, and it's actually much trickier trying to cool that off than to heat this up. James restarts his effort to measure the area of the playscape while Sadri teases him. Andres, James, and Diana join together in a jumping contest, while Ren recites numbers off the top of her head, attempting to calculate temperature differences. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. You've got 1 hour and 5 minutes before you should think about returning everyone to base. What do you do next? Well, this one sort of feels like it should be last, and it kind of is last. We only have some oars left to go, so let's just do that. And we're going to have to leave it there. This is once again Trillian from the future. come to break the episode into 2 parts because it turns out that this moonwalk episode took me about 30 minutes. So I'm going to break it here and make it 2 15-minute episodes. But I'll see you back here for episode 9 for the rest of the moonwalk. Until then, be well.